Hello, Rory Dowse here from Cano Piano, and today we're going to look at Edward MacDowell's To a Wild Rose.
Cano Piano, cultivate, create, communicate.
So this is a captivating little piece full of atmosphere and really ideal for you if you're at the late beginner to early intermediate stage. It goes a little something like this. So, forgive my little wrong note there, but stunning piece, I hope you'll agree. To a Wild Rose with simple tenderness, crotchet or quarter note equals 88 beats per minute. We're in the key of A major, we're in 2/4. With this piece, really, it's quite through composed in nature. We have a little bit of a return, actually we do have a return here in the second page, so maybe it is a sort of ternary form. But there seems to be, so much kind of change with it that it's quite a romantic, atmospheric sort of piece. And the reason I mention this is because before you want to learn any piece, you want to just take a look at the structure and make sure you're comfortable with what's actually going on. Make sure you know where's the best place to start learning. But in this case, I'd say it really is to start with this beautiful theme. So with this is a perfect little piece for developing your expression, your understanding of phrasing, of tone, of balancing melody and accompaniment, of using the pedal. So we're in the key of A major. Again, you want to get familiar with that if you're not already. And the first thing I would do is I'd just get comfortable with the melody. I'd play it and I'd sing it. La 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 la. And from there, then, I get comfortable with the chords, just playing them by themselves. And if that's taking you a little bit of time and you kind of keep getting stuck on some of the notes, a really good thing to do is just to pause, take your time, and then to say out loud the notes from the bottom up. For example, I play the first one and I think, oh gosh, what's the next one? I just pause and I say A, D, E, there it is, and then G sharp. And then I carry on and just do the same thing. Once you're comfortable with those chords, then what I'd recommend you do is play them, but then sing the melody over the top. So for example, and by singing it like that, what it does is it kind of gets us out of that very logical way that we can sometimes get into when we play the piano, which is, hey, what's this note? What do I need to do when? And, we just kind of become a little bit robotic if we do that. But if you use your voice to get used to the notes and just to get comfortable with the melody, well, what it does, it starts to put something of you into the music. And this is a good thing here because this is romantic music. And we want something of your spirit, of your soul, if you will, with this. Because, there is something I think quite personal about this music. And so to do that, we want to use our voice because it's something we use every day to communicate, to get that expression across. Even as I'm speaking now, I'm using certain nuances of tone. I'm not kind of even really thinking about it. But just to give you the sense of how kind of significant that is, I recently read that apparently, in terms of the communication, the information that we take from communication, apparently the great majority of it is body language. Like 60% is body language. And then from there, it might be like, it's a little bit less, but still quite significant number. Like 30% maybe is like tone of voice. And then apparently like 5 or 10%, forgive me if you've seen something else in terms of these numbers, I'm approximating, absolutely, but only like 5 or 10% apparently of the information that we take in is actually the content of words. And well, it's quite extraordinary, isn't it? We focus so carefully on, the words we want to use, and, we write and we talk, and what words do I want to use? And, that's important. But actually, body language and tone are kind of the things that we get the most information from. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? Well, how does that relate to this? Well, if I start playing all the right notes in the right order, getting the right words, as it were, this is what you get. And I'd be highly surprised if you were in any way moved by that. It is robotic, isn't it? So that's what happens when we focus just on the words. But now if we start to think a little bit more about tone, it's a little more expressive already. It's a lot more expressive already, isn't it? And the tone, how do you describe tone, It just has to be appropriate. That's the only way to describe it. I like to say to some of my students, when I'm talking about tone initially, I say, if you're feeling a little fragile one day, and someone comes in and says, hey, how are you doing? You say, I'm a bit fragile. And they say, oh my goodness, you're feeling fragile. Is that an appropriate tone? Equally, if you're like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, I'm over the moon about this, I'm so pumped, and they're like, good for you. Like, it just doesn't really add up, does it? So it has to be appropriate. So if we're going to say what's appropriate, well, let's look at what's inappropriate. So we have here, let's say we've got like... It's too severe, isn't it? But equally, if I play, that is just a little bit too vague, isn't it? Just a little bit. But, we've got the extremes, and, we just find the balance from there. So I'd recommend that as you're getting used to this piece, you'll learn the notes. It's in A major. It's all there. You want to be comfortable with the melody through singing the melody. And this leads us on then to the next thing, which is gesture, right? So we talk about body language, musical gesture. There's so much gesture written into this music. The first bar is a slur marked. And it's almost like a sigh. It's like, and as I do that, you probably feel something, right? Because there's something in the gesture of what I'm doing that's giving you a certain feeling. And it's the same idea, of course, in the music. And this is the idea. We want to move people through that feeling. So how am I creating that gesture? Well, what I'm doing, and I've talked about this in previous videos, I see a slur. And I drop my wrist in for the first note of the slur to create a slightly heavier tone. First note of the slur, remember, strong. And then I lift up through the phrase to lift up and make the tone a little bit lighter. And that's how we get that sort of sigh feeling. So here it is, for example. I'll do it two ways. I'll do it without the slur, and then I'll do it with the slur. And I want you to tell me which one you think is as a more expressive gesture, like body language or something. Here's without the slur. So we've got... Okay, nice projected, still piano. And here it is with the slur. Which feels more expressive? I'd imagine most of you said the second one, right? The slur is there. I drop my wrist in, I lift up. Now, same thing in the next bar with another slur.